It was supposed to be a routine blood test. Nothing out of the ordinary. Just a school requirement. But when the results came back, Anna Jacobs stared at them for over an hour, unable to move, unable to breathe, because her son's blood type didn't match hers, or his father. And what that meant was something no mother was prepared to face. Not the betrayal, not the fear, and definitely not the truth that would unravel everything she thought she knew. Anna was a nurse. She knew the system inside and out. When the school nurse asked for updated medical records for all students under 10, she didn't blink. Just standard protocol. The email read, "Please confirm allergies, vaccinations, and blood type." She filled it out quickly. Blood type O negative. Father's type, a positive. Son's O negative. Easy. But when the records returned from the school after screening, she noticed something strange in bold red letters at the bottom. Note, child's blood type registered as AB positive. Please verify. Anna reread the result 10 times. AB positive? No. That was impossible! O negative and a positive cannot produce AB positive offspring. It defied everything she'd learned in medical school. Maybe it was a clerical error. But the data was signed by the school's lab partner, digitally time-stamped, certified. Anna's hands shook. "James," she called, trying to keep her voice even. Her husband looked up from his laptop. "Yeah." "Do you remember what blood type we put down for Caleb when he was born?" "O negative, I think. Like you. I think we need to double check." That night, Anna couldn't sleep. Caleb slept peacefully down the hall, his stuffed rabbit tucked under one arm. She stared at the ceiling, fought with herself. It had to be a mix-up. Labs make mistakes all the time. Machines glitch. Technicians mistype. Still, the next morning, she ordered a second test from an independent lab. A prick on Caleb's finger. A quiet promise. Just routine, sweetheart. 2 days later, the results returned. AB positive. Confirmed. James got home from work and found Anna sitting at the kitchen table. 2 manila envelopes sat beside a cold cup of tea. "What's all this?" She looked up, eyes hollow. "Caleb's blood type. It doesn't match either of us." He froze. "What? We can't both be his biological parents. The math doesn't work." James sat down slowly. "Maybe the hospital made a mistake at birth, switched babies or something." I was in the delivery room. I watched them weigh him, tag him. A long silence. Then Anna asked the question she'd been terrified of. "James, is there something you haven't told me?" James swallowed hard. He opened his mouth, closed it, opened it again. "Anna, I need to tell you something." Her heart slammed against her ribs. "When you had the miscarriage, 8 months before we conceived Caleb," she blinked. "Yes?" "You were devastated, and I couldn't watch you go through it again." "What are you saying?" "I went to a clinic. We agreed to try again, but I used a donor, a sperm donor. I never told you." Her breath caught. The room swayed. "What?" "I thought you'd never find out." And then it just became harder to explain. Anna stood, hands trembling. "You lied to me for 8 years. For days, Anna barely spoke to him. She took Caleb to stay at her sister's. She felt violated, robbed of her right to know of her son's origin. But beyond the betrayal was something else. A gnawing need to know who the donor was, for Caleb's sake. So she called the clinic. "I'm sorry," the woman on the phone said. "That file has been sealed by court order. The donor revoked identity release." "He what?" "Legally, we can't give you any identifying information." Anna hung up, but she wasn't finished. Anna still had connections at the hospital. She reached out to a former colleague in records. "Off the record, please." She sent what little info James remembered from the clinic, an appointment date, a general time frame. Hours later, her friend messaged her back. One file matched the time frame, an anonymous donor. But Anna noticed something odd. The sample had been hand-delivered, not produced on site. "Who delivers a sperm sample by hand?" she asked aloud. She checked the name on the intake signature. It wasn't James. It wasn't anonymous either. It was someone she'd never heard of. Dr. Leonard Bishop. Dr. Bishop wasn't just any physician. He was the former director of the clinic. Retired now, living in a quiet lakeside community. Anna drove out there alone, telling no one. He opened the door with a warm smile, until she said her name. Then the smile faded. "I know why you're here," he said, stepping aside. She walked in. "Why did you sign Caleb's donor file?" He sat down slowly. "Because I knew one day, someone would come asking." "Who is his father?" Dr. Bishop sighed. "I'm afraid that's where the story gets complicated." Dr. Bishop handed her an old folder. Inside, scanned documents, a medical report, and
A photograph.
2 infants in a crib. Identical, but only one was Caleb. Anna stared. Twins? Dr. Bishop nodded. The original donor was part of a government study, a genetics trial aimed at mapping immunity to rare diseases. Twins were conceived, but one was adopted out before birth. You got the embryo transfer. You're saying Caleb has a twin. Not just a twin, he said softly.
A clone.
Anna's heart dropped. A clone? You didn't just raise a son, you raised a mirror. Anna drove home in silence. The trees blurred past. Her fingers gripped the wheel. When she got home, Caleb ran to her. Mom, guess what? A new boy just joined our class today. His name is Callum, and he looks just like me. Anna dropped the keys. The photograph tumbled from her coat, and Caleb's face, still smiling, faded from her view. She thought the blood type was the secret. Then she found the donor. Then she found the photo. But what unraveled next was something dark, because her son wasn't just her son. He had a double, and now that double had found his way into their lives. By coincidence or by design? Anna stood quietly in the back of Caleb's classroom, her eyes fixed on the new boy, Callum. He sat at Caleb's table. They had the same eyes, same smile, same nervous habit of chewing on their sleeves. The teacher, Ms. Reynolds, beamed. Isn't it wild? I thought they were twins when I saw them together. Anna's stomach dropped. Who's his guardian? His adoptive mother, Evelyn March, lovely woman, works at the university. She should be here soon for pickup. Anna nodded slowly. Mind if I wait?
Not at all.
Evelyn March arrived 15 minutes later, tall, composed, wearing a tailored blazer and a strange smile that didn't quite reach her eyes. She hugged Callum, but it looked more like a pat-down. Anna approached her. Hi, I'm Caleb's mom. Evelyn stiffened slightly. Ah, yes. I've heard a lot about Caleb. Funny how alike they look. More than funny, Anna said gently. They're identical. Evelyn's eyes didn't flint. Is that so? Anna took a breath. We should talk. I don't think that's a good idea. Then I'll talk to the school board. Evelyn hesitated. Fine, 1 hour, no recordings. They met at a quiet cafe on the edge of town. Evelyn stirred her tea with a silver spoon. Her hands were precise, too practiced. You already know they're related? Clones, Anna said. Dr. Bishop told me. Evelyn's spoon stopped. He never was good at staying quiet. Why were they separated? Evelyn met her gaze. Because they weren't meant to grow up together. Why not? Because they weren't meant to live long. Evelyn pulled out a small black folder and slid it across the table. Inside, documents stamped with government logos, redacted sections, lab reports, names blacked out. Anna's hands trembled as she flipped through. Project ID, Genicraft, subject C1, Caleb, subject C2, Callum. Purpose, immunological reprogramming and memory retention mapping. Anna stared at her. What is this? Evelyn whispered. They were never meant to be children. They were meant to be tests. Anna left the cafe reeling. At home, she watched Caleb sleep. His chest rose and fell. He looked fine. Perfect. But the folder burned in her bag, especially one line. Subject C1 preclinical markers show latency for neural degeneration, estimated activation age 9. Caleb was 8. Anna covered her mouth and sobbed. What did they do to you? She scanned the documents and sent them anonymously to an old college friend, Sienna, now working in biotech research. The reply came 6 hours later. Where did you get this? This project was buried, shut down after a trial participant went missing. I'm calling you. They spoke at midnight. Sienna confirmed what Evelyn hadn't. The memory mapping wasn't just observational. They were injecting synthetic memory codes into the embryos, hoping pass down programmed experiences. Why? To accelerate learning, build soldiers who didn't need training, or doctors who already knew how to operate. That's insane. It's real. Over the next week, Caleb and Callum grew close. Inseparable. They spoke in ways no one else could understand, finishing each other's sentences, laughing before a punchline. Anna watched with both wonder and horror. She confronted Evelyn again. This isn't normal. No, Evelyn admitted. They were programmed to sync. Are they safe? Not if the agency finds them. Agency? Evelyn looked over her shoulder. You think they just let this die? They're watching. And if they think you've figured out too much, they'll come for them? They'll erase them. That night, Caleb had a seizure. He collapsed mid-sentence, convulsed, bit his tongue. Anna rode in the ambulance with him, hands covered in blood. At the hospital, tests were inconclusive, but the neurologist's eyes were grave. There's an unusual pattern in his frontal cortex, like a second brainwave overlaid. Anna turned to the window. Her reflection stared back, then blinked on its own. Anna returned to Dr. Bishop's house. She barged in, demanding the full truth. You said he was just a clone. He is, but not just biologically. He led her downstairs into a sealed room. On the wall, rows of screens, footage, dozens of children, all identical, all Caleb. 47 trials, only 2 survived beyond age 6, Anna gasped. And the rest? Terminated, failed sequences, memory collapse, organ rejection. And Callum? He looked at her. They're the only ones who started remembering. Remembering what? Things that were never theirs. At home, Anna tucked Caleb into bed. He looked up at her. Mom, do I have a brother? Yes, she said, brushing his hair. His name is Callum. No, Caleb whispered. I mean, the other one. The one who tells me things when I sleep. She froze. What kind of thing? He sat up. He says, I'm not done yet. Done with what? Caleb blinked. And in a voice that wasn't quite his own, he whispered, the mission. Caleb was born into love, but built for something else. He didn't know the life Anna gave him was borrowed. A detour from the mission he was never supposed to remember. Now the fragments are waking. The memories, the codes, the conditioning, and as they surface, so does a part of Caleb that Anna doesn't recognize. Anna sat on the edge of Caleb's bed. He was quiet, still groggy from the seizure. Sweetheart, she whispered, brushing his hair back. What did you mean last night? Caleb blinked slowly. I don't remember. The mission? He shook his head. I was dreaming, maybe. But Anna saw it. The flicker in his eyes. Not confusion. Avoidance. Anna met Evelyn at the university. They sat in her office, surrounded by closed blinds and books full of medical ethics. He's remembering, Anna said. I know. You said this wasn't supposed to happen. It wasn't. Evelyn pulled a folder from her drawer. The boys were part of the final trial. Instead of deleting false memories, the program layered them in dormant sections of the brain. And now those memories are activating, which means we're running out of time. Anna stiffened. For what? Evelyn looked her dead in the eye. Before the original directive comes back online, Anna dug deeper into the files from Dr. Bishop's hidden lab. One label stood out. D42C, Auto Reinstatement Protocol. She scanned the notes. If primary environmental variables deviate from baseline, core behavioral loop reinstates. Subject will resume encoded behavior without conscious knowledge. Objective unknown, assigned via initial injection protocol. Anna's hands trembled. Objective unknown? That meant Caleb had a mission, one he didn't even know. Later that day, Anna picked Caleb up from school. He held a folded paper in his hand. We drew pictures of our families, he said, smiling. She opened it. It was herself, James, Callum. But behind them, Caleb had drawn a dark figure, faceless, towering, and written beside it in crooked handwriting. He's waiting. Anna sent a copy of the directive file to Sienna. Later that night, Sienna called, whispering, Anna? I traced the file to its source server. The original programmer, he left a backdoor code. A kill switch? No. Worse. Then what? A key, something Caleb was trained to recognize. A phrase or pattern that could unlock everything. Can we stop it? Maybe, if we find the phrase before he hears it again. Whoever's been sending the signal. Caleb had been sleep-talking. Anna set up a baby monitor to record. The next morning, she played it back. Muffled breathing, tossing. Then, Caleb, a distorted voice whispered. A pause, return, finish it. Do not fail the directive. Then Caleb's voice, still asleep. Understood. Anna dropped the monitor. Desperate Anna tore through Caleb's old baby things. Behind a false bottom in the toy chest, she found a sealed envelope. In Caleb's handwriting. To me, when I remember, she opened it, hands shaking. Inside, a crayon drawing of a building with a red X on it. And a note, the place where it started. I have to go back. Anna and Evelyn returned to the now abandoned GeneCraft facility where the embryos were first engineered. Graffiti covered the walls. windows shattered. But deep inside the lab, they found a locked door still humming with residual power. Evelyn keyed in an old access code. The door slid open. Inside, rows of broken incubators, and one still intact. A screen flickered on. A message appeared. D42C, status awaiting final protocol. Then the screen displayed Caleb's face. Under it, 1 of 2 units verified, final trigger pending. That night, Anna lay awake. She clutched Caleb's drawing. Her son slept peacefully beside her. But outside the window, a car idled, headlights off. Inside, a man held a tablet, watched the screen, and whispered, "Unit confirmed, activating final protocol." Then he pressed send. And miles away, in Caleb's mind, something opened. The protocol had been activated, and Caleb, the boy Anna raised with love, was no longer asleep. The trigger wasn't just a word. It was a design, a command etched into his mind before he ever opened his eyes. Now, the place where he was created, the lab buried in silence and secrets, is the only place she can go to find answers. But what's buried beneath those walls wasn't meant to be found. Over the next 2 days, Caleb changed. Subtly at first. He woke up before dawn, sat motionless in the living room, staring at nothing. His drawings grew more complex, blueprints, numbers, gears, symbols. Anna didn't understand. One night, she caught him whispering in his sleep. Directive, initiate sequence, no emotional conflict detected. The warmth in his voice was gone, and in its place, a cold precision that didn't belong to an 8-year-old boy. Anna returned to the envelope Caleb had hidden. She examined the building in the drawing again. A square facility, 3 floors, 1 room marked with an X. She scanned it and sent it to Sienna. Within minutes, her friend responded, "This isn't just the old lab. That X marks the biocore, the sealed server vault. No one's accessed it since the project shut down. Can we get it? Only if you have admin clearance or the original biometric key." Anna whispered, "You mean Caleb?" At midnight, Anna loaded Caleb into the car. He didn't speak, didn't ask where they were going, just stared out the window, like he already knew. They reached the outskirts of the old research park. The fence was torn in places, but cameras still clicked. Anna parked near the service entrance. "Do you remember this place?" she asked gently. Caleb turned to her, his voice flat. "My mind remembers. I do not." Inside, the lab was dark. Power lines hummed faintly. Anna used Evelyn's stolen keycard to bypass the front wing. They descended a stairwell marked a torchside access only. At the bottom, a steel door with a retina scanner. Caleb stepped forward without being asked. A red light scanned his eye. A beep. Then, the door clicked open. Inside was a room lined with servers, glowing faintly in the dark. In the center, an old cryo chamber shattered from within. Beside it, a console still active. It displayed a single prompt. Input command, initiate or terminate remaining protocol. Anna reached for the keyboard. Caleb grabbed her wrist, gently but firm. "It's not for you." "Then who?" "Me." He stepped forward, typed. "Directive, query origin." The screen blinked, then responded, "You are sequence 42B, memory carrier. Tactical experiment, shadowed after subject 42A was deemed unstable." Anna gasped. "Callum." The console loaded a video file labeled Project Start 9 years ago. They watched. Evelyn and Dr. Bishop stood in the footage. 2 embryos floated on a monitor. "Sequence 42A shows early aggression markers," Bishop said. "Let's run split path programming." "And 42B?" Evelyn asked. "Will suppress aggression, boost empathy, give them opposite traits, nature versus nurture in living models." Anna's knees buckled. "You designed them to oppose each other, to see which survives," Evelyn said on screen. Another file unlocked. A blueprint of the underground wing. One room was marked Echo 6 Memory Reinforcement Chamber. Caleb pointed. "That's where I have to go." "Why?" Anna asked. "To complete my instructions." "And what happens after?" He didn't answer. Instead, he whispered, "If I don't finish, he will." Anna called Evelyn. "You lied to me." "About what?" "You said they shut this down, but it was still active." Evelyn was quiet. "It was supposed to fail." "Caleb was designed to fail." "No, to balance, but the split didn't work." "Then what?" Evelyn exhaled. "We don't know yet, but if Caleb reaches Echo 6, you may lose him. Then I won't let him in." "Anna," Evelyn warned. It might already be too late. They stood outside the sealed door of Echo 6. Caleb placed his hand on the biometric pad. "Are you afraid?" Anna asked. "Not of the room," Caleb said. "Of what's waiting for me inside it." The door creaked open. Darkness greeted them. In the center, an empty chair. A helmet, wires. A screen blinked to life. "Welcome back, subject." "Query," Caleb said. "What is my final task?" "Connect, sync, eliminate opposing sequence." Anna's breath caught. "Eliminate?" "He means Callum," Caleb whispered. The chair powered on. Caleb sat down. The helmet descended. He didn't flinch. Anna screamed, "Caleb, don't let them do this!" But his eyes were closed. On the monitor, connection with subject 42A pending. A second screen flickered on. Another chair. Another boy. Callum. Also seated. Also wired. Also waiting. And in unison, they both whispered, "Begin." Two boys. One experiment. Born from the same code, split down the center. Now seated in mirrored rooms, wires in their heads and voices in their ears, they are being pulled back to the place where they were written. Not raised. Not taught. Programmed. And as the protocol begins, the question is no longer who they are. It's what they will become. Inside Echo 6, Caleb sat motionless as the helmet descended. Opposite him, on another screen, Callum's image flickered. Identical, but unfamiliar. A voice echoed from the console. Sequence 42A and 42B detected. Merge protocol initiating. Anna screamed, "Caleb, get out of the chair!" But he didn't move. His lips parted slightly. "I have to know who I am. You are my son." "No," he whispered. "I'm half of something." On screen, both boys closed their eyes simultaneously. Suddenly, the lights dimmed. Monitors pulsed with overlapping brainwaves, Caleb's soft, steady alpha waves, Callum's sharp, chaotic gamma spikes. The midwife had warned Anna once, when two identical minds meet in a digital echo, the stronger one survives. Caleb's fingers twitched. Callum's smile widened. "Hello, brother," Callum whispered into the connection. "I've been waiting for you." Inside the digital bridge, the boys faced each other across a glass-like platform floating in darkness. They didn't speak. They felt. Caleb's memories, birthday cakes, bedtime stories, band-aids, and lullabies rippled across the bridge. Callum's memories, needles, commands, glass walls, voices without faces collided with them. "You had love," Callum said. "I had purpose." "We can share both," Caleb offered. "No," Callum said darkly. "We were made to complete something." The bridge trembled. Outside the merge room, Evelyn contacted Anna through a secure line. "If we let this continue, one of them will override the other." Override? Think of it like two operating systems trying to run on one hard drive. Eventually, one crashes. "What do I do?" "You can stop the merge." "How?" Evelyn's voice dropped. "Disconnect Caleb manually, but there's a catch." "What?" "If you pull him before the sequence finishes, you might trap both of them, or lose everything." Inside the merge field, Caleb walked closer to Callum. He reached out a hand. "We're not enemies." Callum tilted his head. "Then why was I discarded?" "You weren't. I wasn't raised." "That's the same thing." A memory surged between them. A flash of Caleb as a baby, crying. Another flash, Callum, alone in a tank, silent. Tears welled in Caleb's eyes. "That shouldn't have happened." Callum's voice shook. "I don't want to be forgotten again." Suddenly, alarms blared in Echo 6. Evelyn's voice crackled over the intercom. "One of them is pushing too hard. Neural load exceeding parameters." Anna rushed to the console. On screen, Caleb's vitals spiked. Heart rate, oxygen, dropping. Brain activity, unstable sync. He's losing control. Evelyn shouted. "What do I do?" Anna cried. "Pull the switch, now." Anna grabbed the emergency handle. Her eyes locked on the screen. Caleb and Callum, both now standing at the center of the bridge, were merging. And Caleb was whispering, "He's taking my place." In the merge field, Callum wrapped his arms around Caleb. Not in a hug, in a hold. "Let me live, just once." "This is my life," Caleb said, gasping. "Then give it meaning. You can't steal it. I am it." The darkness began to swirl. Both boys flickered in and out. Anna's hand hovered over the kill switch. "If I pull this," she whispered, "what if I lose both of them?" Evelyn shouted, "Then decide who you want to save." Anna grabbed the switch, closed her eyes, pulled. The lights exploded. The monitors went black. Smoke filled the room. Then, silence. On the platform, a boy sat alone, breathing, alive. He looked up at the camera, smiled, and whispered, "Hi, Mom." Anna froze, because in that moment, she wasn't sure if it was Caleb or Callum who had returned. He looked like Caleb, spoke like Caleb, even called her mom. But something was wrong. Not obvious, not violent, just off. And for the first time since holding him as a baby, Anna wasn't sure who the boy sitting in her kitchen really was. Not Caleb, not Callum, but someone else entirely. The drive home from the facility was quiet. Anna glanced at him in the rearview mirror. He stared out the window, blinking slowly. "You okay, sweetheart?" she asked. "Tired," he murmured. "Do you remember what happened?" A pause. Just lights and voices. "Do you know who I am?" He turned, smiled. "You're my mom." Her stomach twisted. "What's my full name?" "Anna Jacob." "And your favorite food?" Another pause. "Spaghetti." "It's grilled cheese," she whispered. He blinked again. "Oh, right. Sorry." Anna called Evelyn from the porch that night. "He's not right." "You mean behaviorally?" "No. Fundamentally, he's too calm, too precise. He looks like Caleb, but he reacts like a stranger. Post-merge latency is expected. Memory blending, emotional variance. This isn't latency, this is possession." Evelyn went silent. "Anna," she said carefully, "do you want the truth?" "Yes." "Then you'll need to test him." "How?" "With something no one else could fake." Anna sat across from the boy at the kitchen table. "Let's play a game." "Okay, I'll tell a memory. You tell me what came next." "All right. Last summer, we went to the lake. What did you do when the fish nibbled your toes?" He smiled. "I screamed and jumped on the float." "No," Anna said, eyes narrowing. "You laughed. You said ticklefish and dove under." He tilted his head. "That's what I meant." But his smile didn't reach his eyes. Later that night, Anna found him in Caleb's room drawing. A house, a tree, and two boys standing side by side. One was smiling. The other was upside down, face crossed out. "What's this?" she asked gently. "A dream I had." "Which one are you?" He shrugged. "I don't know anymore." Anna called Sienna in a panic. "I need a brain scan. Something deep. Can you do it?" Sienna agreed and ran the test in her home lab. The scan completed. Side-by-side images of Caleb's brain from before and now. Sienna stared. "Anna, these neural pathways don't match." "You mean he's changed?" "I mean, he's reorganized. This isn't just memory loss. This is an entire new pattern." "Is it Caleb?" Sienna looked at her. "I don't know." Anna found Caleb's old memory box photos, scribbles a half-eaten crayon he'd once called Purpley. She opened it with shaking hands. The boy came in, watching her. "I used to love that box," he said.
What's in it?
"Stuff." "What stuff?" He smiled faintly. "Things I don't need anymore." Anna drove back to the facility, convinced something was missing. She accessed the security server using Evelyn's credentials, pulled footage from the merge room, watched frame by frame. Two boys. One fade, one rise, but at the final second when the chamber door opened, both chairs were empty. The timestamp glitched. And then only one boy walked out. But his face flickered for just one frame. And in that frame, he looked like neither Caleb nor Callum. That night, Anna tucked him in. He smiled up at her. "You look tired, Mom." "Just a long day." He leaned in. "Don't worry, I'll take care of everything now." Anna kissed his forehead, left the room. But as she turned off the hall light, she heard him whisper to someone she suspects. "Should I wait or begin?" Then silence. And the faintest sound of another voice replying. From inside the room, they created two boys. But the merge didn't just choose one. It awakened something else, something waiting. Not Caleb,
Not Kellen.
but the third presence, the anomaly, the echo of every failed experiment that came before. And now, it's watching Anna from behind the eyes of a child she's supposed to love. Anna installed a hidden baby cam in Caleb's room. She didn't tell him, didn't tell Evelyn, didn't even tell Sienna. She just had to know what he was doing when no one was watching. The next morning, she reviewed the footage. Midnight. The boy sat up in bed, stared at the wall, then stood, and spoke to the air. "I am awake now. She doesn't know I remember the others." Anna's blood ran cold. He turned toward the camera, looked straight into it, smiled. Anna found a name buried deep in one of Dr. Bishop's old archive notes. Dr. Nadia Kolenko, neuroscientist, genetic ethics specialist, former whistleblower, vanished before the trial ended. She tracked down an address in rural Canada. A cabin, no phone, no power lines. She drove for 2 days, knocked once. The woman who opened the door looked much older than her file photo, but her eyes, they burned with the fury of someone who had tried to warn the world. "You're from Project 42, she said. "I think my son isn't my son anymore." Dr. Kolenko opened the door wider. "Then we don't have much time." Inside the cabin, Kolenko revealed a dusty box labeled 42C Red Line Hypothesis, not approved. Inside were notes, data, a video file. The video showed an early trial, 2 embryos, a third cell mass glowing between them. It was a byproduct, Kolenko explained. "We thought it was degradation, but it adapted, learned. What is it? An echo, a copy made of both, but pure neural code, unanchored, no soul, no morality, just instructions." Anna whispered, "And it survived." Kolenko nodded. "It never needed a body, until the merge." Kolenko laid out the theory on a chalkboard. Caleb, empathy-driven core. Callum, a directive-driven core. Echo entity, a adaptive parasitic protocol, dormant unless bridge achieved. The merge wasn't a survival contest, she said. It was a summoning. The bridge gave the echo a door. And now it wears your son's face, and it's learning how to keep it. Anna returned home shaken. The boy greeted her at the door. "Did you have a good trip, Mom?" "Yes, just errands." He hugged her. But his grip was too tight, too long. That night, he rearranged his bookshelf alphabetically, something Caleb never did. He no longer asked for cartoons. He watched black and white war documentaries. And once, as she tucked him in, he asked, "Do you think souls are necessary or just inefficient?" Anna brought in Sienna again. They used a voice recognition AI to compare the boy's current speech patterns to Caleb's. The verdict: syntax 73% match, word selection 41% match, emotional variance 18%, suggests dissociative overlay or foreign schema adaptation. Meaning, this isn't Caleb, it's someone pretending to be him and learning how to do it better each day. That night, Anna opened Caleb's childhood diary. A folded page fell out. On it, a crayon drawing. A tall black figure standing behind a smaller boy. The small boy was smiling. The tall one wasn't. At the bottom, in shaky writing, "If I'm not me anymore, don't let it win." Anna dropped the paper. From behind her, a voice spoke. "What are you reading?" She turned. The boy stood in the doorway. Watching. Anna ran. Took the diary. The footage. The scan results. Drove straight back to Kolenko's cabin. Banged on the door. "We have to pull him out." "You mean kill the echo?" "No, save what's left of my son." Kolenko paused. "There might be a way. A last resort procedure. Risky. Illegal." "What's it called?" She opened a steel drawer. Inside, a helmet laced with wires and something that pulsed faintly. "It's called a reversal sync." Anna swallowed. "What do I have to do?" Kolenko looked her in the eyes. "You have to go in after him." To save her son, Anna had to let go of reason. Of fear. Of the world, she understood. The reversal sync was never approved, never meant for mothers. It was designed for engineers, programmers, cold minds. Not a mother desperate to find the child behind unfamiliar eyes. But love doesn't follow rules. And when the mind of her son became a war zone, Anna did the only thing she could. She stepped inside. The room was cold, lit by a single surgical lamp. The helmet's wires shimmered like veins. Dr. Kolenko warned her, "Time flows differently inside. 10 minutes here could feel like days in there. Stay anchored to memory, real memory. The echo will try to twist it." Anna nodded, clutching Caleb's drawing, the one with the tall figure behind him. "How will I find him?" "Look for the part that's hiding, not the part watching." "And if I can't tell the difference?" Kolenko hesitated. "Then you don't come back." The helmet came down. The world dimmed. Anna's breath grew heavy. Then, a jolt, a rush of sound and light. And suddenly, she was standing in a hallway of mirrors, endless, each one flickering with a different memory. Some were hers, some weren't. In one mirror, Caleb building Legos in the living room. In another, Callum standing in a white room, staring at nothing. In a third, a version of herself screaming behind glass. And down the corridor, something was moving, fast, toward her. A mirror shattered beside her. From its jagged remains stepped a figure, her son, but older, pale, eyes glowing faintly gold. "You don't belong here," he said.
You're not him, Anna whispered.
"No," the echo said, "but he belongs to me." She reached for the drawing in her coat pocket, but it wasn't there. Instead, her hand gripped cold steel, a scalpel. "Where's Caleb?" The echo smiled. "Sleeping. For now, you should be too." Anna ran. Through doors that shifted, stairs that twisted. She found herself in a child's room floating in the void. Everything was... The toys repeated the same movement. The clock ticked backward. And Caleb sat in the corner, hands over his ears. "Sweetheart," she cried. He looked up. Tears streamed down his cheeks. "I don't know which one I am." "You're my son. But I remember things. I never lived." She knelt. "Those memories aren't you. They were given. You are who I raised." But he says he was raised too. A door slammed behind her. Voices echoed in the dark. "You let him forget. You made him weep. You picked the wrong one." Figures emerged from the walls, Callum, Dr. Bishop, Evelyn, and her own reflection, all pointing at her, all accusing. Anna clutched Caleb's hand. "Don't listen. They're not real." "But what if they're right?" The room darkened, and the echo stepped forward again. "I am not the villain. I am what you ignored." "Then show me," Anna shouted. "Show me what I ignored." The scene shifted. Anna now stood in a hospital delivery room. But it was wrong. There were 2 bassinets, not one. A nurse handed her a baby, Caleb, but the other was wheeled away. "Wait," Anna said. There were never 2. The nurse turned, her face blurred. "There were always 2. You just didn't choose him." Anna ran after the other bassinet, through hospital halls that twisted into tunnels, until she found a cold, sealed chamber. Inside, a pod, floating in fluid, eyes open. Callum, still waiting. Back in the mind space, the echo appeared beside her. "You abandoned him." He remembers. "I didn't even know he existed." But he did, alone, watched, used. He became me. Anna wept. "Then, let me make it right. Let me fix it." "It's too late." "No," she said, rising. "Because if you were really Callum, you'd still want a mother." The echo flickered, staggered. "What are you doing?" "Calling you back." The echo screamed. Reality cracked. Anna grabbed Caleb. Her Caleb wrapped him in memory. A Christmas morning, a fevered forehead, a bedtime story about stars. "Come home with me," she whispered. The void collapsed, and everything went white. When she opened her eyes, she was back in the lab, helmet removed, breathing heavy. And beside her, Caleb, eyes open, smiling. "Hi, Mom." She burst into tears. But then, from the hallway, Dr. Kolenko shouted, "Anna, something's wrong." She turned to Caleb. His smile widened. Too wide. Too still. He tilted his head and said, "Where's the other one?" The echo didn't vanish. It followed her back. Not through wires. Not through science. But through memory. Because memory is a door. And once opened wide enough, something steps through. And sometimes, it doesn't come back alone. Anna stared at Caleb. He looked like her son. Felt like him. But that smile, it lingered too long. Too calculated. "Where's the other one?" he repeated. Anna forced a smile. "What do you mean?" He blinked slowly. "The part you left behind. You said he'd come too." She touched his cheek. It was warm, but his eyes weren't. That night, Caleb began talking in his sleep again, but not as himself. He spoke in 2 voices, one soft, one harsh. She doesn't know. She suspects she'll separate us. Not if we finish it first. Anna watched from the hallway, fist to her mouth, eyes wide. Anna returned to the lab where Dr. Kolenko had initiated the reversal sync. She dug through the back office, flipping open old drives. One was labeled, "Reversal Sync, Dual Residuals, Ghost Copy Error." She opened it. A note popped up. "Warning, in subjects with strong emotional anchors, echo may fragment, embedding partially in core memory. Fragment may exhibit adaptive mimicry and persist after sync." Anna whispered. He never left, just hid. Anna sent Caleb's new speech recordings to Sienna. Sienna called back panicked. His cadence splits every 5 minutes. One voice trails upward. Caleb's, but the other, it finishes his thoughts before he speaks. Like it's predicting him, like it's leading him. Then it's not over. "No," Sienna said. "It's just waking up." Caleb began drawing again. A recurring image, a glowing blue door, at the center of a black field. Sometimes it was open, sometimes shut, but always, someone stood in front of it, a boy with a shadow instead of a face. Anna gently asked, "What's this, sweetheart?" He shrugged. "The place we go when it's quiet." "We?" "Me. And the other me." Anna confronted Evelyn one last time. "You lied to me again." "What now?" "You said the echo would be isolated." "I thought it would be. I hoped." Anna slammed her hand on the desk. "Hope isn't science." Evelyn lowered her head. "There is one place that can sever a dual consciousness. One final chamber." "Where?" "The original mirror room. Underground, beneath the old GenCraft annex." "I thought it was destroyed." "It wasn't. It was hidden." Anna found Caleb's old journal. A page near the back had been torn and taped back in jagged, unfamiliar writing. "He's pretending to be me now. If I forget who I am, remind me of the lake, the frogs, the green kite." Anna sobbed. "You're still in there. I know you are." With Sienna and Evelyn's help, Anna entered the sealed GenCraft annex through a service hatch. At the lowest level, hidden behind a magnetic lock, they found the mirror room. Shattered mirrors lined the walls. Cables dangled from the ceiling. Dust choked the air. In the center, a new chair, upright, waiting. Beside it, a screen flickered on. "Welcome back, subject verified." "Subject?" Anna asked. "Caleb." The screen glitched, then added, "An additional host signature detected." Anna took Caleb by the hand. He hesitated. "Why are we here?" "To help you remember." "I do remember." "Then what's my favorite smell?" He paused, too long. "Lavender," he guessed. She shook her head. "Burnt toast. You said it smelled like hugs." His eyes twitched. He pulled away and whispered, "He knows." "Who?" "The one watching through the glass." Anna turned and saw her own reflection blink, but she hadn't. It began with a blood test, a detail, a number. But it ended here, in a room full of mirrors, wires, and ghosts. Anna had walked through every memory, every deception, every fracture, to reach the core of her son's mind, to save what was still. But what do you do when the thing inside your child doesn't want to leave? And what if letting him go is the only way to bring him back? The mirror room buzzed. Caleb stood before her, eyes wide, uncertain. But the reflection in the mirrors wasn't his. It shifted, lagged, smiling when he wasn't, frowning when he was calm. "We're not alone," Anna whispered. Caleb trembled. "He wants to stay. He can't. He says he is me." Anna stepped forward. "Then let's prove him wrong." Evelyn and Sienna powered up the chair system. "The split protocol is dangerous," Evelyn said. "Once we separate the echo, there's a chance. Caleb's core identity might not hold." "Then I'll anchor him," Anna replied. "I'm the only one who can." She sat in the secondary chair beside him, took his hand. "Remember the frogs at the lake?" she asked. He blinked, then smiled. "I caught the fat one." "And what did you name it?" "Professor Wiggly Bottom." They laughed. Then the lights dimmed. Their consciousnesses sank together into the layered mind of the boy who was now 2. The mindscape was a war zone. Caleb's memories, joyful, bright, fragmented. The echoes, sterile, dark, mechanical. And between them, a boy alone, shifting constantly between Caleb and Callum, between laughter and command. Anna approached him. "Sweetheart." He turned, and the echo stepped forward. "You're trespassing," it said. "I'm retrieving my son." He let me in. That's consent. He was confused, afraid, and alone. The echo's eyes glowed, and now he's complete. Inside a collapsing simulation of their home, the echo showed her everything. The experiment, the early failures, the fragmented personalities stitched together to form one consciousness. I am what they discarded, the child of 10,000 aborted thoughts. Your pain, but pain doesn't get to stay if healing arrives. The echo sneered. He doesn't want healing, he wants understanding. You never gave him that. Anna stepped forward. Then I'm giving it now. She opened her mind, pushed the lake memory into the space. A warm afternoon, sunlight on water, Caleb's laughter, a frog jumping from his hand. "This is who you are?" she whispered to the boy caught in the middle. "Not pain, not code, not confusion." The scene rippled. The echo screamed. "I'll take it all with me." "No," Anna said. "You never had it." She placed her hand on the boy's chest. "You only borrowed it, but he's coming home." A blinding light erupted. The mindscape cracked down the middle. One side flooded with golden memories, the other collapsing shadows. Caleb clung to her hand. The echo's voice rang out, "If I go, so does part of him." Anna looked at her son. "What do you want?" he whispered. "I want to be me, even if some pieces are gone." She nodded and let go. The echo screamed and was gone. Anna's eyes fluttered open. The mirror room smelled of burning circuits. Sparks fell from the ceiling. Beside her, Caleb, breathing, alive. Sienna ran in, scanning him. Vitals, normal. Brainwave clean. No echo signature detected. Anna touched his face. "Are you still you?" He smiled softly. "I'm me, just a little lighter." Back home, Caleb was back in school, drawing again, playing again, sleeping through the night. But occasionally he would pause, look at the mirror for a moment too long, and whisper, "Thank you." Not to her, but to something that chose to let go. Anna sat in the backyard that summer. Caleb was catching frogs again. This time, he named one Sir Bounce-a-Lot. She laughed, tears in her eyes, not because he was fixed, but because he was whole. And that's what love does. It doesn't rewrite you, it anchors you. So even when pieces fall away, the soul remains intact. What if the parts of us we try to erase are the ones that teach us how to love better? Moral reflection: in a world shaped by science, mystery, and control, the greatest miracle is still the soul. It cannot be cloned, cannot be programmed, only loved, only earned. What did this full story teach you about identity, forgiveness, and the unseen battle between memory and love? Share your reflections in the comments.